What's up, you absolutely wonderful Magento loving friends of mine? Joseph at SwiftOtter here again with another challenge question. Test your expert status here. Today's question continues this theme about Adobe Commerce Cloud. Why is this such a big deal to us? Well, as you have probably heard by now, Magento, or actually this is Adobe by now, has decided that on their professional and expert level back-end tests or certifications, you are required to have at least some cloud knowledge. Now, in our experience, it's not like the deepest or the most difficult level of knowledge ever that is required to pass this, but yeah, there is definitely some that is required. As such, because we were all kind of thrown a curveball on this, we've decided to go back to our roots, and we are releasing this course for free until February 1st. So February 1st is when this is going to be converted into a paid edition. If you've already purchased the professional developer and expert developer in the recent time here, you will already have access to this course as it is. So, but if you do want to brush up on your cloud skills or honestly learn some new things about cloud, feel free to take a quick spin through that cloud course, and I think you will find it valuable. Now, the test question today here was a little tricky. You might say that, well, let's just look at it from this perspective here. Just a couple of our friends here, those of you who answered this, actually got it correct. We'll talk about the preferred favorite answer and why that maybe wasn't quite accurate, but it seemed like it was. I do have to make a quick shout out. I don't know for an ass here whether I absolutely love this answer or whether I hated it. I don't know. ChatGPT helped them out with this answer, and so at least they're honest, and I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So that's why you get the smiley face. But the fact that ChatGPT actually answered it kind of correctly, I kind of get a little bit upset about that. But then again, the more we can push aside out of our knowledge of just the routine stuff, the better it's going to work for us. So at the end of the day, maybe our jobs will be replaced by ChatGPT, but I don't think so. I think the idea behind this type of a tool is it's going to help senior developers flourish. It's going to cause problems for junior developers because they won't have the heuristics to know whether this is correct or not. But at the end, this will be a good tool for developers as it continues to mature. Now, that said, our official and final statistic here is this right here, 38%, which is a little lower than what it has been normally. So we've been tracking 50, 75%, I think, in previous weeks. So this definitely took a bit of a hit. So let's see why it took a hit by coming in and reviewing this question here. You are participating in migrating the Shelt's Outdoor... I got to stop here real quick. Shelt's Outdoor Store. You see, there is this store here in the Kansas City area that me and my kids, my wife too, I don't know about her as much, but we enjoy a lot. It's called Scheels, Scheels, Scheels. They actually have a slightly annoying aspect of their e-commerce store. That's for another conversation. But overall, the website works great. It's a great store. We love to go there. The kids call it a dead animal store because they have so many animals like trophy animals that have been hunted, and then they're like put up for everybody to enjoy on the wall. So the kids enjoy it. They like riding the escalators, and there's like a big Ferris wheel there. So it is a really cool experience. So Shelt's Outdoor Store. How about that one, friends? Okay. To Adobe Commerce Cloud, the client is consolidating subdomains into URL paths on one domain. So the idea is maybe this store kind of was a conglomeration. As they were purchasing up other e-commerce sites, they just dropped it on a subdomain. Well, that's one of the beauties of Adobe Commerce is we can put it all under one roof, right? And so in order to do that, we have to configure some routes correctly. So what does this look like? Well, apparel Shelts.com goes to shelts.com/outdoor. Footwear.shelts.com goes to shoes. Now, you'll notice I did change this question up a little bit. As I look back, I think this would have been a helpful clarifying point. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the answer. I added this in here for a little extra context as we go through this question here. So, my question is, what route configuration will accomplish this? Well, we have 3 options. Let's see which one is the correct one, and we see it right here. The answer is B. So, let's back up and look at this here. I lost who this was. We had a one of you. I'm pulling this up right here. An absolutely excellent answer by Nick Parsa. Absolutely phenomenal. And so they went through and documented why they thought B was incorrect. That threw me for a loop, to be really honest, because I was 100% confident B was the correct answer. Well, then I see such a well thought out, well documented answer. I'm like, oh shoot, I screwed up. Like, B is definitely seems to be wrong. So I took some extra time to test out various scenarios. And so with that said, my confidence has still been a little bit shaken. But as a result of my testing, I am quite confident now in this answer once again, and the answer remains as B. But I do welcome Negan on the Smash the Bug podcast, and we can talk about routes and who knows what else. We could talk about anything cloud commerce cloud as well. So I think that would be a very productive podcast. So maybe we'll see about that. Anyways, so here's the issue. When we have this all selected, we actually run into 2 issues. First, the lack of an SSL certificate being generated for this, or at least like the subdomain added to this SSL certificate. And I was not seeing in my test that this asterisk was working. Maybe I didn't test it exactly quite right, but I just wasn't seeing that. The other issue here, though, is that was not seeing that the paths referenced or looked up the actual domain name. They only seem to reference everything after the domain name. So while I really wish C would have worked, and ultimately I did put something else in C that made it a little bit more, I wanted to make it a little bit more obvious, that I put an HTTP : / not HTTPS for secure. And I really would have liked C to be correct, because that would have allowed a very clean mapping. We could certainly have had a conversation with Schultz about perhaps moving around their their category structure so that, footwear goes actually to footwear as opposed to shoes or whatever that mapping was. At the end of the day, here is the error I was getting with using option C. Again, my confidence was shaken just a little bit, and I would love to have a further conversation just to ensure that this has exactly been flushed and vetted out. But of course, this is based off of the test that I have done here. Now, this was mapped in based off of my code for the code that was presented for C. It was set here just like this, and I was not ever able to get this to work as expected. Now, that said, I was able to. This shows a 404 page just because I have not set up a category to listen to this. I have set this up such that we can come over here to apparel. And, well, it would help if I didn't add a slash in there. And it pops right over to /apparel. So for sure, I know that B works. Now, the other thing I did was I tested this without a HTTPS in here. So I only have the HTTP, let's see here. Oops, right here. I only have the HTTPS configuration. And what I was seeing here is I can do it like this. And it still redirects over to the secure side of it. So all that to say is this is still what I believe is the absolutely correct answer, is B. Unfortunately, this is not an area that's fully flushed out, or a circumstance that's fully flushed out, it feels like, in the documentation. So I hope this video provides a little extra information to you as you work to continue your journey at being an expert on Adobe Commerce Cloud. See you next time. And again, do not forget about this course being available for free on YouTube. It's a great value.